Alright. I'm gonna try this again, because this thing's not really working. Now it's reacting to my buttons. I don't... Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I know. Oh my god.
Oh my God. Finally. I was getting really worried. What the fuck?
Finally.
Oh my God. Hello.
How are you?
Hey man, I'm so sorry. This is my first time doing like live and shit. I don't really do that much with social media except post things. I don't really like go live or anything like that. So it's just it took a little while. Got you. Yo, can you say something again? I want to see if the mic works.
It's my first time going live on Instagram ever. So I've never really done this.
Yeah, man, same here. Shit. Uh, I see we got some followers already. People already following. My cousin was just there a couple seconds ago. He's a big supporter of the channel. Um, Bruce, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. And thank you and Joshua in general as well. Because you guys introduced me a little bit into the SOV genre in a way that I never really thought existed. Like I was familiar with SOV stuff, but I didn't know it was like an entire genre. Like I grew up watching movies like Bout It with Master P, or like the rap shot on video movies that you would buy like at a convenience store for like $1 or whatnot. Um, so it's nice to see that there's movies that I never knew existed that have been out for like about 2 decades, like Dirty Cop, No Donut, and Chris Seaver, like a little later Chris Seaver movies. I had a lot of fun with those.
Part of Dirty Cop No Donut is makes an appearance in my upcoming movie. Actually,
The main guy, the cop.
yeah, Joel Wynkoop.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Can you say what role he plays?
He plays yeah. So
Yeah, your mic is cutting off a little bit. Like sometimes when you're talking, I don't know if anybody else realizes that. Maybe just me.
let me see if it's because of my stand or something. Tell me if that sounds any better at all.
Yeah, that sounds good. There's not no skips.
All right,
Let's just hope that goes on
cool.
more. But yeah, you said the cop. He's in the movie, and what role does he play? If you're able to
Yes.
let me know.
So the the main character in the movie is this girl who's basically like she starts off getting kicked out of her boyfriend's house, moves in with another guy, gets kicked out of there, and so forth. And at one point, she calls her dad to see if she can go home. And yeah, so her dad is Joel Wynkoop, actually, the cop from
Wow.
uh, maybe better known for the Truth or Dare films. Although my favorite Joel Wynkoop movie would be Tim Ritter's Creep, where he plays a serial killer. It's amazing.
Gotcha. I'm working on getting Tim Ritter stuff. Like I saw there's a 2-disc set on SRS Cinema, and I might actually pick that up. I don't know if that's
I
in there.
think
Do
I
you
think
know if it
Creep
is?
is in there, actually. Yeah. So I,
Yeah.
I didn't order that yet, but it looks like a great set. Yeah, I think it says like the Tim Ritter, the SOV years. So it's like everything after Killing Spree, I think, a good chunk. So
I actually just saw Volume 2 of Dirty Cop No Donut, and there's a scene in there in the video store where you see a copy of Truth or
I,
Dare, which I thought was like a nice touch. Yeah, like looking at that, and I was looking at other VHSs. I'm like, oh shit, like I have that at my house. So I remember that one.
Dirty
That was cool.
Dirty Cop 2 is Donald Farmer plays a cop, actually.
He's the one that plays the brother.
He plays Joel Wynkoop plays the dad in my movie, but in Dirty Cop 2, Donald Farmer plays a cop as well, and the star of our movie got her start in I doing like 4 or 5 Donald Farmer movies. Yeah, he's like he was an SOV like pioneer. He started in the 80s. He was like one of the first ones. He made a movie, Cannibal Hookers and Demon Queen, and Savage Vengeance. Red Lips might be his best one. Yeah, lots of classic SOV horror movies. Donald Farmer.
I've only seen Shark Exorcist.
Oh my god,
that's the only one I could. Yeah,
yeah. The Shark Exorcist is so bizarre. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I like Shark Exorcist, but his like early movies are like worlds better. If you ask me, like way better. You know?
I believe that too. Like the editing in Shark Exorcist is like funny sometimes, like how it is, and the
like,
CGI is terrible.
All like it seems like a weird fetish movie where people, like girls, are just like wiggling around on the ground, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a really fucking weird movie, man. Something weird was going on in Donald's head making that.
Yeah, and I that's the only one I've seen, but I did just purchase the DVD of Hooker with a Hacksaw. And Cannibal Hookers. I got a double feature with that, which includes the Hooker and the Hacksaw movie. Yeah. But the DVD has supposedly like a rare film on the DVD, and it's not on the Blu-ray. So I just got them both.
So the star of Hooker with a Hacksaw and the new Cannibal Hookers is the star of my upcoming movie. So have you watched them yet?
Have I watched? No, I haven't come in the mail yet.
They're fun. They're fun.
I did watch the outtakes on YouTube with Casper. Like she's cutting somebody, the blood's oozing in her face. Yeah, yeah. How did you manage to get
us here? That's our assistant director and director of photography here. Just joined.
I'm sorry?
Merc Deep just logged on. It says he's our assistant director and director of photography.
Oh,
Michael
okay.
D. Francesco.
I think he's the one I bought the Blu-ray from.
Oh, cool. Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's my partner in all this.
Yeah, man. How'd you manage to get Casper in the movie?
So I met her through Caroline Kopko, is a friend of mine who I started following on Letterboxd some years ago. She's like my favorite film writer, and we started talking to her because she wanted to see. I noticed she had like Bloodsick Psychosis in her watch list, so I ended up sending her a copy, and we ended up meeting at Mahoning Drive-In at VHS Fest, and I don't know, we've been talking ever since actually. So and Caroline is a good friend of Casper, and they were roommates, so she had recommended her when I was looking for actresses.
She looks great on the trailer. Like the trailer looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Like that. I actually can't wait for this movie. And I kind of grew to like Bloodsick a little more since I last saw it, because I'm not really too seasoned in these type of movies, like the SOV genres, like, because I didn't know that these type of movies were still happening at this rate. You know, they're kind of like post-exploitation movies type, like, and I've heard in the last, you've had an interview before with a guy that has a YouTube channel called Right at the Movies, and he's giving you a question about the film Bloodsick Psychosis being mean-spirited, and I think when I look at it in the concept of it being an exploitation film, I think a lot of people that see the movie and think that way, that they're completely missing the point. Plus, the movie's fucking called Bloodsick Psychosis.
Well,
so,
I mean, I do think it is in to a certain extent mean-spirited. I mean, it is based on true crime, and I think horror movies were never meant to be like these like fun comedies that they turned into eventually in the 80s. So I think a lot of my movie is still pretty fun, but I'd say like it's written to be fucked up, you know. I don't mind someone calling it mean-spirited, because I think we do the characters do a lot of cruel things in them. You
know? Exactly, and for real honesty, the only reason I brought that up is out of response to that interview and hearing that, because I personally, I don't really go through like user reviews a lot when I hear about movies or anything like that. I kind of read through what people like officially write on a website, maybe like in a blog or something, or if the movie's being talked about and then giving a link to either buy, I take that recommendation. And usually it's not necessarily a criticism, but just like a little summary of what you're expecting. And yeah, but my bad. Like I said, this is my first time I'm like talking to somebody that directs movies and whatnot, and I really do appreciate you coming here, and I do respect you as an artist, as a director, and whatnot, because in watching this movie, I didn't know what to expect, because I paid for it. I was kind of taking a shot at the dark, and then watching the movie as it opens up, I see there's claymation happening, and I see that there's heart into
Yeah.
this movie. There's a lot of
Claymation is where I got my start with videos. You know, I had like one failed attempt at like making a feature film maybe like 12 years ago or so that didn't go great, and I swore I wouldn't make another movie again. But then I started doing these claymation music videos maybe like 6 or 7 years ago now, and I was just doing those for a while. So that was like my thing for a long time before I got back into filmmaking.
They're pretty interesting too. Like I've checked them out. Like they're good. I like the which one is it? Don't Play with Black Magic. Like I like that one because it gave me like a Caligari feel. It's nice.
Yeah, that's one of the first ones I ever did actually. It's a little choppy as far as like animation goes, but yeah, I really like the look of it. I mean, I literally made the background to look right out of like a the German expressionism. See, it's a Caligari background, and I don't know. Yeah, it was just like what's that, like 30-second song? It's just a little 30-second clip. I was really just messing around, but yeah, if you watch that video, I had the camera upside down for the first 10 seconds, and realized it by accident, and I just flipped it over and kept it in the video.
I didn't notice that. I'm going to see that the next time I get to the channel. Your videos are pretty good, too. Like the metal one, I like how you started off with hash. Like it's on the desk, and you use that as an animation to use as credits for the beginning, if you remember that.
Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry, using what as credits was it? Oh, the hash. The Moda one. Yeah, no, that was Pineapple Kush we used, I think, for that. Yeah. We used real weed for that. The new movie. There's some cocaine in the credits. We used Halloween, not Hollywood cocaine for that one though, not real.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you didn't like Goodfellas style that shit and make it real. You went in and you actually used some other shit.
It's funny.
Now
there's a lot of drugs in my like videos and movies. I actually don't really do drugs anymore, but whereas Blood Sick Psychosis was a big like weed and acid movie, the new movie is going to be cocaine and alcohol fueled.
Yeah, man. Freaking, there's so much. Like, not only like for here so far. Like, I do want to talk about your movies and the works that you've had. The new movie that you're having out, Course for Christmas. How long have you been working on this movie? Like,
well, as far as like start to finish, I started writing it I think last summer. We filmed it in December. We shot. We had one like half day of filming with Nikki, one of the leads. He had 4 scenes that didn't have Casper in the lead role in it, so we knocked those all out before she got there, and then everything else we knocked out in 5 days, pretty much, excepting a day in Chicago when we filmed with David The Rock Nelson. So, so we filmed basically most of the movie in December, and I've just been editing since. but it's almost done now, and we're looking to release it. We're going to do like a Christmas in July release.
Really, that soon? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's almost done, so it'll be ready before July. But I feel like Christmas in July is more suiting,
No, that makes sense, man. I agree with you. I was expecting Christmas, like December.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I thought about doing that too, but I'm just like anxious to get it out there. We all worked really hard in this movie, and I don't want to wait another 6 months to put it out. So yeah, we're gonna shoot for Christmas in July, and then we'll probably do another bump for it holiday season as well.
You're still bumping Bloodsick too, because the movie's going to be playing in Toronto next Saturday.
Yeah, it's playing in Terrible Fest Toronto at Eyesore Cinema, along with some other cool stuff. Matt Cannon, best known for his Lapses synth band. He's also from Philadelphia. He's got a short playing Terrible Fest as well. So that'll be a cool festival. They're doing a live stream with a bunch of the shorts on that Saturday too. So anyone not in Toronto, you can still check some of Terrible Fest out.
Yeah, man. So yeah, other than that, how we got to this point. Originally, I wanted to talk with Josh because I follow him on Facebook,
Sure.
And sometimes he puts in a little bit of his recommendations and whatnot. And he recommended a movie called Wilder Napalm, and then I was like, this guy would probably be cool to talk movies with. And he told me like, nah, I don't like doing that stuff. I don't like even doing podcasts or anything like that. I kind of hate doing it. And I was like, I'll ask Bruce, and he's like, yeah, I think he'd be cool with it and whatnot. Yeah, he's really insightful with movies and whatnot. Most of the movies he was selling when I met him, I owned most of those movies. He was like just looking to get rid of them and get
Josh watches something like 6 movies a day. He's seen like more movies than most people.
That he has.
So he knows a lot about film. So Josh is a great actor, and he knows more about film than I do. I mean, my interests are like pretty specific to like shot on video exploitation, low budget horror. But Josh watches every genre, every aspect of film out there.
And it's good to do that. Like, that's how I like to approach watching movies. Like, 'cause sometimes I get tired of just one thing. I'll go to another. Like you go back and forth and whatnot. Love that. We were going to talk about the Oscars. Like, what you think about that?
Yeah, so I went to Josh actually threw an Oscar party actually that I went to. I did not see most of the Oscar films that were that were nominated. I think the only thing I saw was Babylon, which was awesome, which I don't know if it won anything, but I know it had some nominations. But beyond that, I loved seeing Brendan Fraser taking an Oscar home. Brendan Fraser, I loved growing up. Airheads, I think, is the best movie he's ever done. Where he's in like a metal band takes over the radio station. And his speech I thought was hilarious because it felt kind of from the heart, but it was full of like whale and sea puns while he was crying the whole time. I don't know. I loved it. So yeah, I don't know, like seeing somebody that, from Encino Man and then Airheads and whatnot growing up to win an Oscar. I haven't seen The Whale, honestly, but
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Aronofsky makes cool films. I like a lot of his movies. I haven't seen The Whale. I'll probably watch it eventually, but either way, I'm glad to see that somebody like Brendan Fraser's winning.
Got an Oscar, and it's deserved because he carries that movie. Because there's not a lot going on, and there's a lot of demand from him, and I think that's why he probably deserved that actor win. Yeah. I was surprised that Jamie Lee Curtis got Best Supporting. Like that was wild.
Yeah, I mean,
but that was cool.
That's another actor I'm like happy to see. You know, again, I didn't see Everything Everywhere All at Once or whatever it's called.
You got
Uh,
the title.
yeah, I don't know. I thought that movie, like, I don't know. I didn't see the movie, so I can't really judge. But the trailer made it look like a Spider-Man multiverse ripoff or something. So I didn't really have much
Yeah.
interest in it. But I'm happy to see. Yeah, somebody like, you know, that got her start in like Halloween and Prom Night and Terror Train,
Yeah.
you know, is taking it home an Oscar now. Like, that's really cool to see stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, cause like she's such a household name, so it's nice to see her get an Oscar. But at the same time, I do feel like there were better people that could have gotten that award. But I was just like, I'm cool with her getting that. And I felt the same way with what's her name, the main one in Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Right.
Michelle Yeoh. Like I felt that Kate Blanchett should have gotten that one because that was the best picture I was picking was Tar. But
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, again, I didn't see any of the movies that were nominated for Best Picture, so I really like don't have a huge.
an opinion and
Yeah,
whatnot. Like, yeah, my bad. I don't mean to interrupt you, bro.
no, not at all, not at all. So yeah, no, no, I just meant yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis rules. So I'm happy for her, even though I didn't see her performance. You know, so good for her.
Yeah, good year at Oscars. Yeah, like I wasn't really mad with anything that won. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once. I saw the movie. I didn't really like it as much as people tend to like it. Like I said, I thought Tar might win, and I also was surprised that Top Gun didn't really get that much. You know what I mean? Because that one made like $1 billion and was as successful as it
Yeah,
was, and the way that it was shot was crazy. Like actually, like in the air with actual jets and all that stuff. Like, so I thought that one could have probably gotten the best picture. And
yeah,
people didn't mad.
yeah. A lot of people liked it. The biggest complaint I heard about that movie was that it's an advertisement for the U.S. military. But again, I didn't see it, so I, you know.
Yeah, that's probably that's the Oscars. They're just like dodging every single controversy. So at
Sure.
this point, they're just like, let's give it to them.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it, who cares? Whatever. Will Smith met Chris Rock last year, so that's what the fuck we're worried about. You take what the fuck you want
Yeah.
and be happy with your little movie that won. But no, congratulations to the Daniels and whatnot. Uh, so yeah, I didn't even fucking see the Oscars, to be honest. I just like read about it once I woke up in the morning. Like I just saw what won. That's what I kind of do
The
now.
biggest upset of the night was Travolta came out to introduce to much people's disdain, Lenny Kravitz. You know, to sing the R.I.P. song. So I didn't even know Lenny Kravitz still played music, but it was good. It was good to see Travolta on stage again. Then.
Yeah, I actually liked The Fan. Like that, I thought was a great
You like
movie.
what?
Personally, wasn't that what it was called? The
Oh, the
Fanatic.
Fanatic.
That's the
Fanatic
one.
was fucking
Yeah.
amazing. I love the Fanatic.
Yes.
Yeah, Devin Sawa was awesome in it. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think that you know, Fred Durst could direct a movie, but yeah, I thought it was incredible. Travolta I thought was awesome in it, and yeah, I mean the movie is like fun. It's like creepy. It's yeah, it's in bad taste at times. I don't know. It's everything I like about movies, you know.
Yeah. No, I liked his performance more than anything, and I felt sometimes the way the movie went was like misguiding me somewhere. Like it was making me think like it was gonna head somewhere, but then in the end it just sort of like plops for me. But still, everything that happened in between, like who he interacts with and how he just fucking maintains himself, is funny
Paul,
because he's so fucking
Paul,
weird. Yeah,
Paul.
like really awkward. Yeah, like the one where that bully he finally confronts him and he tells him like, I wish that Freddy Krueger would chop off your head. And like I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, man.
What the fuck is
And
going
not
on?
only Freddy reference, but then he's in like a Michael Myers jumpsuit, wearing like a Jason hockey mask later. So it's like just like a nod to like all three like slasher bangers, you know. He's
Yeah,
seen this movie, The Passion of Darkly Noon, SoundCloud Knitting wrote.
I actually
Yeah,
haven't seen that.
me neither. But I'll have to check it out because Fraser rules.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I haven't seen too much of Fraser except for like The Mummy, Encino Man. I can't really like Furry Vengeance. um,
Well,
like
I'll have to
so,
check
so no,
Passion
nothing
one,
really.
and you definitely need to watch Airheads if you haven't seen Airheads.
Oh yeah, I've seen
Mhm.
Airheads, of course. Yeah, that's a fucking
Yeah.
amazing movie. How can I forget that one? That one was great.
Mhm.
Um, I'm trying to segue this stuff because I did come here to talk about not only like the Oscars or anything, but just like movies in general, the movies that probably influence this one that's coming out right now. Um, do they have anything related to movies of like Donald Farmer or like Tim Ritter,
Yeah.
Todd Jason Cook, any of those guys?
So
Like,
I'd
do you
say Tim Ritter, Don Farmer, those guys. I'd say the biggest influence is their aesthetic, shooting on VHS camcorders, which guys like that shot on VHS because it was cheap back in the day, and it was like a way to get movies made because the alternative back then was shooting on 16 or 35 millimeter film, which is an expensive endeavor. And to me, those kind of directors were like the original film outsider artists, just not really like film school students or anything like that. I mean, some of those guys to a certain extent maybe, but for the most part, it was just regional filmmakers that like had a story they wanted to tell and did it in any way they could, and you got movies that were made for sometimes no money at all, sometimes like a little bit of a budget, but yeah, I'd say like the films I'd say that were like closest to mine, I would say is Hugh Gallagher. Hugh Gallagher's Gorotica is definitely always been like a big influence on me. Now that's a punk rock movie about necrophilia, so I'd say like from the 90s, that's like going to be one of the closest things to Corpse for Christmas. Um, yeah, Hugh Gallagher and Michael McCarthy kind of collabed on that one. Mike McCarthy was like this like punk psychobilly from Memphis, and he produced the film, found like a wild cast. Donald Farmer actually found the lead actress, Getty Chasen, for that movie. And Hugh Gallagher wrote and directed. It's just like a weird like heist gone wrong that ends in weird necrophilia and AIDS. And then there's another movie that actually is like, I'd say, a pretty big influence on me, called Rot. Director named Marcus Cook made this when he was a teenager, and it's just about two punks that like contracted a disease by fucking a dead body in a funeral home, and they're just slowly decaying as the film goes on. And Joel Wynkoop actually is in it too. So I would say like if you're into movies like mine, you should definitely check out Rot and Gorotica, because they're two like the best like shot on video punk films ever made.
I was trying to find Gorotica. It was hard for me to find
So
that one.
SRS just put out a box set called the Gore Trilogy, and that has got all the Hugh Gallagher films in it. So it's he made 3 movies they call the Gore Trilogy that really have nothing to do with each other, just have gore in the title. It's Goregasm, Gorotica, and Gore War. And then it also comes with his first movie, and it also comes with there's a new documentary about Gorotica called Wake the Dead, and it's got like a ton of like behind the scenes stuff about Gorotica, how it was made, interviews with Hugh and Mike McCarthy, the producer, and me actually. For some reason, I don't know, Hugh decided to like let me be part of it. Um, but yeah, so you can get that from SRS as a Blu-ray box set right now. It's the only way I know of watching the movie right now.
Got you. I was at that website. I guess I skipped
It's
through that one.
it's
Like,
I mean
I
it's
didn't see it.
new. It just came out a couple weeks ago, I think, maybe a month ago or so.
Ooh, snap! I forgot to mention. I actually ordered like not from SRS Cinema, but from your website. I ordered a VHS.
Sure
It
did.
was
Saw that came in yesterday. I appreciate that. That'll be going out tomorrow for you.
there we go. Yeah, I was like figuring. I'm like, does that get to you? That's one of the reasons why I still haven't written to Dave Nelson, because I feel like if my letter gets to him, I send him a money order, I get shit. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm
So
like out of fucking
you
money.
know, dude. So I always so David Nelson has in my experience never not shipped an order, but I always write him a check because if something happens and he doesn't get the letter, then like your check isn't going to be cashed. But whereas like a money order, I guess if it gets lost, it's lost. But I always send David a letter um, and a check. It's how we became friends, really. I just became kind of a pen pal with him over the years because he responds to them. And yeah, old school guy. I think David Nelson's one of the most natural comedians of our time, and one of the most like insane filmmakers ever. And it's unfortunate that his movies are very hard to get. The only way to get them, like I said, he's very, very old school. You have to send him an order form with a check or money order through the mail and hope he mails it back to you. Which, like I said, he's always mailed every order I've sent him. But he's in his 60s. He's not very technologically inclined. He doesn't have a PayPal. He doesn't. I doubt he even has a bank account. He's just very old school, order by mail kind of guy. Oh, Adam's here. What's up, dude?
Yeah, he is, man. I just waved at him. He just got in the chat. That's awesome. His Terrible Fest 6 is happening starting on Friday. I think it's ending on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's the whole deal there. So if you're in the Toronto area, like definitely get yourself over there. What's up there? Right. I like your show. I watch it. I don't watch. I put it on. I put it through my ears, listening to the interview. I don't get to see the monster and the ape with the people that are being interviewed.
To be honest, I don't even think I watched it when
You did not watch it. You didn't watch a single fucking frame. You guys just y'all had a good talk. You had a good talk. I like that. That was really insightful interview. That's actually some of the things that I've got my notes from. That's how I figured out about Blood Fart Lake. And have you seen the sequel yet since you've had that interview? You haven't.
I think it's my earliest IMDb credit. I still haven't seen the movie. I'll watch it eventually. I've seen so many fucking Chris Seaver movies, dude, and like I don't know. I just I can't see them all. He's got like 100 or something crazy.
Have you seen Film Crew?
Film Crew is one of my top Chris Seaver films. Film Crew fucking rules. It's just
I'm sorry.
Fucking abandoned movie theater with us. It felt like Clerks in a movie theater.
Yes, exactly.
Sure. It's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, no. I think Film Crew for the longest time was my favorite Chris Seaver movie until Geek War came out. I think is a little bit better now, but
I've not seen Geek War. So far, my favorite Chris Seaver movie is Film Crew. And you add Caspian to the movie, that just like makes it even better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I felt. Like, oh wow, that kid's fucking in this movie too.
Actor Josh Schweier as Caspian. Josh is a natural. Yeah, he's really funny. Geek War is one of Chris Seaver's few movies that are like not horror. It's just like a, I don't know, rom-com, I guess, like it's just like a feel-good romantic comedy. Yeah, I don't know, it's really funny though. Just about like comic nerds arguing over this girl, but it's
exactly right. Yeah, it's just like really funny. It's very absurd. Like you have customers in gorilla masks being ignorant. Like it's like it's just all out of nowhere. So yeah, no.
think
That's
Chris
that's
filmed Film Crew in like a weekend, you know, which is like, that's insane to me, to be able to like film an entire movie in just like 2 or 3 days. Like it's got to be, the amount of work that goes into that is insane. Because us filming, when we had a whole week to film Corpse for Christmas, we were all like strung out, man. We worked, 13-hour days, like 3 13-hour days in a row, an 8-hour day, and then like a couple-hour days on the 5th day, and we were like still felt like we're barely getting everything, So how Seaver does it, I don't know, is insane to me.
I don't know either, because it's just his movies in particular. If you're ready for a Chris Seaver movie, you're definitely ready for everybody to be energetic as fuck, because that's like every character. Like when a guy's an Italian, he's a straight up fucking Italian Guido. I like the fucking pastrami's. Like that's
Yeah.
how he talks. And
Yes,
yeah, and
to the max.
he gets everybody to the max. It's so energetic, every single one of his movies that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
He's definitely somebody that's remarkable, doing remarkable work in the SOV genre, as well as Tim Ritter. I can't say too much on Donald Farmer,
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen too many of his stuff. But it's pretty crazy that you got Casper Melted Hair for the movie. Like that's pretty exciting to know that she's going to be in this new movie.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the WNUF Halloween special movies?
Yes, I have.
So we got Melissa LaMartina, who she's got a small role in the first one, but she's like a huge role in part 2. She plays like the talk show host in part.
I haven't seen part 2.
Okay, yeah, check out part 2, man. But yeah, Melissa is the her husband's the director of those movies. So yeah, so she's got a role in the new movie too. So we've got David Nelson, Joel Wynkoop, Casper, Melissa. We got tons of like 4 SOV actors.
And it was really easy to work with them, like managed, and they were like happy like during production and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not saying like was there any drama, but just like usually like I would imagine if I'm directing a movie, like it would be stressful to try to keep everyone happy. Like I don't know if that was a challenge.
For the most part, yeah, everyone was pretty happy filming. There's always like a certain level of stress. There was one night that we were filming at Filmmaker during live concert, and we had a concert scene in Bloodsick Psychosis, but it was like one scene, and the new movie, a lot of the plot centers around like a heavy metal club that these people hang out in, and we had Filmmaker for one night, and we had 5 bands playing, and we had to film, I think it was like 5 or 6 scenes that all take place at the music venue. That was the most stressful night, just because we were so limited on time, because not only do we have one day there, but we have to film everything in between sets. So I'm like, all right, so the next scene, we've got 15 to 20 minutes to film in between this band and the next band. So I mean, I'd say like no one was like mad at each other on set or anything like that. Everyone for the most part got along, but I'd say that was like the most stressful, just because we were just like it was the 4th straight night of filming, and we had huge time constraints, and there was a shitload of people there, because it was a Devil Master concert, like a packed house, and these people are there to see Devil Master. They don't give a shit that like some like idiot punks are trying to make a movie during the concert, so it was I don't know, we made it work though, and it was fun. But I'd say that was the only thing that was like really stressful. Shooting with David is a trip always too, when we go out to Chicago, because Michael and I go out by ourselves, and so we're essentially the entire crew out there, and we have half a day to film with him, and he's only in the movie for like one scene, so the scene's less than 5 minutes long, but to get 5 minutes out of David is it takes something like 6-7 hours.
Because he doesn't stop, right? Like he just goes and goes.
I mean, that's what we all love about him, because he's just he's a nonstop fireball.
Yeah.
But he's hard to focus, so but so. Oh, and Sucker Scott into a role. our friend Scott lives in Chicago. He runs this awesome zine called Strange Takes, and so we invited him out to the shoot, and he did not know he was going to be in the movie until he got there. We threw a Santa suit on him. And I remember it was like, hey, by the way, you're Santa Claus, and you have some lines. And
He's like, wait, what the fuck?
yeah,
I was just here to have a beer. Okay, camera, what the fuck? Like, and it's the lights on and shit. It's going right in his face.
About it though, Scott's awesome though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might have normalized it because Dave was there. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's like everything's already on top form.
Yeah.
Talk more about Dave. Like, I've seen the Pumpkinman saga, and it's nice to know that you made a movie with him. You made the Pumpkinman Lives, I think that is what it's called.
So Pumpkinman Lives is our sequel. So yeah, he made 5 Pumpkinman shorts, right? Known as the Pumpkinman saga. If you track the DVD down from him. We played. I played the entire saga at the Philadelphia Psychotronic Film Society last fall, and it was a big hit to that crowd. I mean, most of the people there didn't know who David was. Some of them have kind of heard of him from Bloodsick. But it's a shame. Right? David was at Filmmaker, I don't know, almost 6 or 7 years ago, and there were like 8 people in the crowd that came out to see him. Yeah, it was empty. But when I played Pumpkinman at the Psychotronic thing, it was a packed house, and I think that seeing that David was like really happy, because I posted some pictures and videos from the show, and he got really excited about that, and then asked if I would make a sequel, because he said he said he never wanted to make a Pumpkinman movie again. He made 5 of them. I get it, So to me, it was like the biggest honor to make a sequel to a David the Rock Nelson film, especially because David, he's not really into the type of movies that I make. Like my movies are like pretty fucked up. They're bloody. There's drugs. There's heavy metal. He hates all of that. He's a pure spirit. The horror movies he likes are like the classic monster movies. He loves
the Mole People.
What's that?
Like stuff like that, like the Mole People, the Great Behemoth, the Robot Monster, shit like that.
Yeah,
like he does a lot of shout outs in that Pumpkinman movie. Like when he's throwing the shit at the son of Pumpkinman, like he's like, this is to Dan O'Bannon, this is for O'Bannon. He just fucking throws shit like a brick. That's what it is. He carries it right out of his fucking
That's
pocket.
One of the best scenes in the whole Pumpkinman saga, I think. And we did a nod to that scene in our short Pumpkinman Lives. But yeah, Pumpkinman Lives is like it's a really cool thing to make. It was very it's like a family picture. We tried to make something as PG as possible that still came out of my brain. I wrote it with Ryan Petrillo, he was our sound guy in Bloodsick Psychosis, and he's a teacher, so he couldn't take all the time off that we needed him for Corpse for Christmas, but he wanted to be involved somehow. So we ended up writing Pumpkinman Lives together, and I kind of just I had this ghost story in the back of my head for a while that I kind of fleshed out with him, and kind of mixed it in with a David the Rock Nelson universe. It's not quite as silly as a David the Rock Nelson movie, but it is silly at times. And I tried to make it sad at times and cute at times. The entire cast is 5 people. It's Sadie Mae Guts plays the lead. She actually plays 2 roles. Her daughter Lil Guts plays one of the main roles. David the Rock Nelson's in it, of course. And then I play Pumpkinman, at least the body, and then my film partner Michael does the voice of Pumpkinman, and that's the whole cast and crew for the most part too. The only other person to really work on it is our friend Leantra from Atomic Video, who did some set design for it. But other than that, you know, it was just the five of us. And so that'll probably come out in the fall. You'll see parts of Pumkinman Lives. There's like they're watching Pumkinman Lives on TV in A Corpse for Christmas. So you'll get a little tease in there, and then we'll release that short, hopefully this fall. If David likes it. He hasn't seen it yet, so we haven't got his permission. But yeah.
That's good. That's amazing that you got this relationship with this guy. He's like, in first impression, you might feel like, wow, this guy is like fucking nuts. But when you actually like get to hear him out, like he's actually very like peaceful and very content, and he's totally cool with how his shit is. Like I just love that. I love that. That's part of his swag. Like he just doesn't really give a fuck. Like he just does what he likes, and what he likes is monster movies. And he makes them by any means, and he does like little parodies of, or I guess like he's just kind of making up like Pumpkin Man soup. Get your Pumpkin Man soup at the concession stand. And I love every single fucking thing like that comes out of that dude's mouth. Like it's amazing. He's such a funny dude. Sorry, you went off a little bit. I can't hear you. The mic.
I like to fantasize that David and I's relationship is similar to Ed Wood and Bela Lugosi. You know?
Yeah.
he's the Asian actor that was, you know, most of his films were shot in the 90s, and I'm like new to filmmaking and like think he's like the greatest thing in the world, and I'll put him in every single thing I make until the day he dies, you know.
He's great. He was great in Bloodsick Psychosis. Like that really turned the shit around in its head. And he just goes like, "Make sure you see my movie, Pumpkin Man." Like he just comes in and says that shit right there. I'm like, okay, this guy directs too. Great.
Yeah.
And then it just goes right back to it. I just thought that was cool. Like that was fucking great. I absolutely adore that dude. So yeah. It's really exciting to know that you have all this work done as of now, and with the background that you have of what you just kind of fucked with, like with claymation. Do you plan on making like maybe a short movie, like a short film with claymation? Probably play with animation more, see if you can do maybe even possibly like a feature film one day with that.
No.
No?
So like I love stop motion, but it's a lot of work. I did a music video for a band called Frost Giant one time. I asked them to give me like their shortest song, and it was something like 6.5, almost 7 minutes long. And it took me like 5 months to shoot it, and it was, to me, I shot it so fast to make it happen. I don't know. It takes so long to do, and your payoff is so short. You know, so it's I can make a whole feature film in 5 months, and compared to, you know, a 6-minute music video with stop motion. So, you know, I like doing it, but other than like in, you know, small short things, it's just not possible unless you have like the luxury of like
a whole crew.
Yeah, a crew in a studio. So I don't think that's something I'll ever really pursue. I'm also just like not skilled as an animator, you know, like everything I do was self-taught, and I just kind of figure it out. I mean, my animation is pretty choppy. I shoot 12 frames per second. Like most studios will shoot 24. It's just, you know, my animation stuff, I won't say it's talent. I just do like shocking things that I think are like funny or crazy, and that's what makes it entertaining. So to do like anything more than a few minutes is just, to me, it's just not possible.
Very tedious. Yeah, it's just probably gonna drive you fucking insane, especially you doing it by yourself. Like you did 7 minutes in 5 months. Like it's gonna take you a couple of years maybe.
I do now. I, for the most part, work with Sadie. So she helped me on the new one. We actually the opening credits that we have in Corpse for Christmas. Besides regular claymation, you're gonna see this like really cool clip where It's like a stop motion painting that Sadie was painting along while I like filmed on the camera. She also did the creature in If You See My Sadistic Force claymation music video. So I have help at least nowadays. But yeah, it's still not like a full crew or studio.
Gotcha. It's funny you mentioned Bela Lugosi earlier. I just read a book, the Quentin Tarantino book, Cinema Speculation.
Cool.
That one, it goes into Bela Lugosi a little bit, like in his later years and whatnot.
Yeah.
Did you hear of the new book that he just came out with?
I haven't read it yet. I heard about it. I don't know too much about it, but yeah, I know. My experience with later Lugosi is I know it's like a lot of the cheaper stuff. You know, the Ed Wood ones are the most famous.
Bride of the Monster, or what the fuck is that? What it's called? Bride of the Monster.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
They just like sometimes films just blend the fuck in. Like
I mean that's probably my favorite Ed Wood movie, Bride of the Monster. Actually, you know, I think it's amazing. It's the biggest Lugosi role, and I don't know. I think it's funnier than Plan 9, which most people, you know.
That's the main one that people go to. It's the most famous one because that's
right.
It's just
it's
what it is.
I'm glad you mentioned that one though. Yeah, because Bride of the Monster is amazing. It's like Lugosi is like the mad scientist, and he like hams it up to the max. It's awesome. It's really good.
That's what you want, yeah. And it's something like that Ed Wood only saw back in the day because like 50s was really, really clean. That wasn't a time to do a movie like Glenn and Glenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think at around that time too, like they either dismantled. No, they still had the Hays Code because the Hays Code was then dismantled by the MPA.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely like 50s was fucking dead ass like Hays Code and stuff like that. So you can do shit that he did, and yeah, it's crazy. It's directors like that make gold back in the day, but no one gives a shit until they die.
Yeah.
You know. It is what it is, but still, his work is still here. We could watch it. It didn't get fucking destroyed in the fire, so yeah, that's a blessing, right?
For sure.
Yeah, man. Any other directors you think you can recommend that are like Ed Wood in a sense, or not like him, but kind of probably give you the same type of excitement?
You know what, man? I'm blanking on the guy's name right now, but there was this director. He started off working the sideshow in carnivals, and he made some like drug scare films, and then and some of them are like a lot of fun, but then his masterpiece to me is a movie called Maniac, not to be confused with the Joe Spinell Maniac from the 80s, but Maniac from I think it came out in the 30s, also known as the Sex Maniac. But it feels like something out of if H.P. Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe co-wrote a movie together. It feels like Reanimator meets the Black Cat. But it's a guy who poses as a scientist, and he's like reanimating corpses, and I don't know, it might be like one of the first movies to have like sexual violence in it. But it's absolutely insane. And if you like weird outsider films from the old black and white days, Maniac, that's the one for me, man. You know.
Shit, not to be confused with the 80s. What year is it from?
I want to say it's like, I don't know, 1932 or so. I'm blanking on the exact title right now. Sadie, wait here, mate. Sadie's gonna find it for me. Give me the director's name too. Sadie's in the room for me. She'll find it.
Shit, I wish I had a fucking pen on me right now. I was writing shit all day.
Okay, 1934 by Dwayne Esper.
Okay, shit. 34, fuck. That's crazy. That must be a real fucking good movie.
Yeah.
There's good ass movies in the fucking 30s, man. Like me, I won't say I specialize in any type of movies or anything like that. I kind of go all over the place. And like I said, the movies mesh in together sometimes, so I'll just be wrong. But when it comes to 30s movies, I kind of go to like Alfred Hitchcock or Fritz Lang.
Look at him, Dwayne. He knew it off the top of his head. Yeah. Dwayne Esper, 1934. Thanks, Adam.
That's what he's there for. Shit, he's very helpful. Now, yeah. I go to like people like Fritz Lang and Alfred Hitchcock. Like I love M from 1931. Even going like a little bit before, like Fritz Lang, I think is a master because like I love Dr. Mabuse, the Gambler.
Sure.
Like that's like a fucking 4 hour like silent movie, but still it's like still really fucking good because the actor, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but his name's Rudolph. He has like a really fucking freaky face. And in silent movies, like that was very important to just have like the right face and to be able to do expressions. Didn't really matter how you sounded, whatnot. And like just the things that happen in that movie is like so. It's such a precursor to what we like today. Like there's car chases, there's people overdosing on drugs. Like it's got all that type of stuff. Like I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Mabuse.
Of course, yeah. That movie rules. There's a sequel to it too that's really good. And
The Testament.
And also, kind of related to it, the band The Killers, right? The bass player has some solo work, and he has an album that's it's kind of like a concept album, where a lot of it is based on that film, actually.
Oh shit! What's it called?
I mean, there's a song called Dr. Mabuse, but I think the name of the record is Atrocities or something like that. I can't think of the name of the record, but I should know this off the top of my head. But there's a song called Dr. Mabuse, and it's by it's not Brandon from the Killers. It's Mark Stormer from The Killer, the bass player. But yeah, his second feature length is it's like a weird concept album, check it out.
I'm obsessed with a Jess Franco movie, and it's called The Vengeance of Dr. Mabuse, and I can't fucking find it anywhere. Like I only got a German DVD of it, and I literally went to Vinegar Syndrome and Severin, and I was like, yo, you guys gotta get this, and they're like, you have a film print? I'm like, no. They're like, fuck you talking about? I'm like, oh shit, all right. So, but I'm just thinking like, there used to be this boutique company called El Dorado Films. I think I got some here. Like this one, like they do releases, and they were gonna do a release of Jess Franco films. They did a double feature Blu-ray, and then the next one was gonna include a movie called Dirty Game at Casablanca, and that shit just never came out. Like around COVID, they just sort of like liquidated and just dissipated. They just went away. Yeah. And it's just sad, because there's sometimes like I want to watch a fucking movie and then I'll see that it's not really available anywhere.
You know what?
Like,
I'll say this, man. I mean, like, think about trying to track down movies like that 20-something years ago. I remember growing up. It's like, I've heard of this weird Italian movie called The Beyond, right? You know how hard it was to see the fucking Beyond back then. Yeah. I'd say it is getting easier to see movies these days, thanks to companies like Vinegar Syndrome, Severin, all that kind of shit. There's so much out there, thankfully, and then you've still got the deep webs of torrenting and streaming and stuff that you can find stuff if you hunt hard enough, But yeah, people like James Franco that make 250 fucking movies or something like that. It's insane. I've only scratched the surface with him, but I haven't seen that one. But I'm glad you mentioned I should track that one down. But yeah, luckily there's companies like that putting movies out for us,
Testament is so far my favorite. I've not seen the remake, but I did see The Thousand Eyes. It was Fritz Lang's last movie, which was like that one was pretty interesting. It was still nice to see that at least his last movie was not his shittiest, was like a shitty movie. Like he actually went out with a nice bang. So it's just I absolutely love Fritz Lang and his movies. Everything from Manhunt, to M, obviously that's one of his famous ones. Scarlet Street, I think he did too. Like he did a lot of noirs in the 50s, and they're among the best fucking noir movies. Like out of all of them, Fury, in general. Like, I wouldn't say that's a noir movie, but that movie is absolutely fucking incredible. And when I watch Christopher Nolan movies, I think a lot about Fritz Lang, because his shots are epic and just like at a really interesting like at an interesting angle. And I feel like Christopher Nolan tries to capture that same thing with his lenses, like, and make everything look massive.
Yeah.
And that just makes his messages like way more like highlighted, like, and very like more important, like just really grandiose. So like it's just I love Fritz Lang. And yeah, The Vengeance of Dr. Mabuse, you can only get a German print. And also I think there's a website that I can't think of right now. Trash Palace, I think. They sell the movie on DVD. They have a dubbed and a subbed version.
I got a handful of movies from that place. Trash Palace, you know, I mean, the quality on all the boots I got from them are pretty good, actually, too.
They had a movie called Pituitary Hunter that I really wanted, that they were screening at Manhattan or in Brooklyn, and I missed that fucking
the last couple I got from them was they had this movie called The Dracula Saga. It was it's this like insane Spanish like weird monster family movie, and then they had this like, it was like a Middle Eastern remake of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, but it was like more like Dracula than Frankenstein. Yeah, you can get some weird shit from them, man. Like
I see their titles are fucking endless. Like, it's really cool.
I think they have Satanic Attraction too, which another fucking awesome like weird like satanic heavy metal movie from South America.
Have you been like around Brooklyn? Like, have you went to Brooklyn, New York at all?
Brooklyn.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the Film Noir cinema, like around Greenpoint?
Film Noir. But I follow them. They do a lot of really cool programming. The theaters I go to most in Brooklyn would be Spectacle or Nighthawk usually. Who also, but yeah, Brooklyn's lucky. You know, there's so many cool theaters doing lots of cool stuff out there.
So much cool shit in New York just in general, and it's so fucking easy to get where you need to go.
Yeah.
It's not like Philly, like where the buses are like, well, you missed it, tough shit, you got an hour and 15. Like there, it's every 15 or 32.
Harry at Exhumed Films, you know, programming wherever the hell he can find a theater in Philly and the surrounding suburbs. Luckily, so we got something out here, but we're not as lucky as New York.
Not as lucky as New York, but I would say that we are still pretty lucky. You know what I mean? That that theater that used to be the Ritz, the Bourse Theater over there, we have that. You know, they show midnight screenings over there. Sometimes I missed this screening, but this shit's so fucking cool. There was a guy, he had a 35mm print of Eraserhead, and he filmed it at the tunnel where they shoot it at, where they shot one of the sequences at. Like, he showed the movie there on that fucking tunnel. I just thought that was like a really neat idea. So it's like there's like a lot of fun screeners that happen here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Eric Bresler from Filmmaker put that show on. Eric's also is always been so awesome with me, man. He's let me show some weird movies at Filmmaker and let us host our premiere screening there. Yeah, he does awesome work. Awesome work.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Like what you guys do at Psychotronic.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? Like that if you join it and then you can curate the movie yourself.
Yeah, it's Psychotronics. It's an amazing collective of people into weird, obscure cinema. We meet 2 Mondays a month. If you come enough, you eventually get to show something. Everyone takes turns playing like really deep dives. I've discovered a lot of my favorite movies just from hanging out there. It used to be free. It's now $5, I think, you know, unless you get the yearly membership. But what's fun is like you never know what you're going to see until it starts there. It's, you know, you just know that you're going to see something weird and different. And I'd say about 90% of the time, the movie that shows is something I've never heard of. And I usually like them, you know. I mean, there's a couple things that aren't for me, of course, but for the most part, every screening is really fun and it's something really weird and something you've never heard of. Mm-hmm.
Let's go into like your favorite movies, like if you can list in some of them and like why they hit you so
Sure.
much, like as being your favorite
I'm
movie.
gonna have to let you know that I've got a time warning here. My phone is dying, so I'll be able to list you a handful of these, and then hopefully my phone won't die on me. But
Okay.
a couple of my favorites. Mostly the shot on video stuff is what I'm into the most. We talked about Chris Seaver earlier. Death of Lantern might be another favorite of mine from him that I didn't mention earlier. Duck, the Carbine Massacre by Bill Hellfire, which is just a sleazy exploitation cash in off the Columbine tragedy. But really, really awesome movie in bad taste. German splatter films are a huge favorite of mine. You got directors like Jörg Buchheit, best known for the Necromantic movies, but Der Todesgang is my favorite from him. It's like an anthology of seven stories of suicide. And then my other favorite German director is Olaf Ittenbach. He made a movie called Primitos, The Fallen Angel, which I won like most psychotronic award at my Filmmaker screening for it. It's like one of the craziest movies as far as like shock value, gore, splatter, and comedy mixing in like so perfectly, and it's also just like crazy like heavy metal filled. It's yeah. What else? I don't know. There's a handful for you, at least, you know.
It was really good talking to you, and I'm so sorry that how it started, and also like I'm very new to talking to people on the
We figured
internet
it out.
and whatnot.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
thanks for having me.
yeah, no problem, man. If you want, we could do this another time, like maybe in a few months or so
Sure.
and
Yeah,
whatnot,
let's
and
back
like
this summer or something.
yeah, this summer, and we'll probably lead into talking about anything else that you might be doing at that moment. Like like, I want to end it up with saying that this movie, the movie Blood Sick Psychosis, is going to be playing at Toronto, and the 25th of March, if I'm not mistaken, at
iSource.
uh, ISO Cinema, yeah, at Terrible Fest 6. So check that out if you're from the Toronto area,
I also
and
have,
yeah.
I'm gonna real quick plug. I've got a new Blu-ray pressing of Blood Sick Psychosis coming out probably in the next month or two, and then follow us come this summer in July. We'll have a bunch of announcements with the new film premiere, and the short coming up in the fall for Pumpkinman.
So everybody follow Blood Sick Psychosis Productions and check out anytime that he has his new releases, because he's somebody to really look at when it comes to the SOV genre. Thank you for having me, Bruce. I hope we do this some other time.
Take care.
You too.